majority of the price of our electricity in the market. So you would expect that has meant that spot electricity prices are higher on the back of that. Our hedging does protect our customers, but it's a volatile market out there.
Donegal County Council is being urged to carry out resurfacing and strengthening works at the boat quay in Bundoran. The issue is being raised at a Donegal Municipal District meeting this week by Councillor Michael McMahon, who's urging the MD to make representations to the Council's Marine section regarding flooding and repairs to the boat quay. He says it's very important that work is done now to ensure it doesn't deteriorate in the future.
It's a very, very active boat quay. It's been used by a lot of groupings. The home of the RNLI. It's used by the fishing club. It's used by surfing, and it's used by a lot of people. And the centre of it is sinking down a little bit. The part of it that I'd like to get repaved, get the paving stones up and reset again, So I am looking for funding to see what can be actually done with it.
A planning expert is urging the government to invest in small towns and villages if changes to one-off housing rules go ahead. It follows an interview in the Sunday Independent in which Housing Minister James Brown announced plans to liberalise regulations by relaxing rules around one-off homes in rural areas. Chartered planner and University College Cork lecturer Brendan O'Sullivan says scattered housing could cause problems unless other issues are addressed.
On the one hand, the government wants to have more compact growth. They want to have better chances for people to have active travel, not necessarily depend on the car for every journey. And what they're not seeming to do yet, at least, is to link this question with the prospects of keeping Irish villages and towns open. The decline of the rural town and the rural village in certain parts of the country is a really serious issue.
Gardaí and Donegal have issued a renewal reminder to all firearm certificate holders. They say they're allowed to seize items that haven't been renewed in time. With more, here's Katie Gillen.
Each current holder of a firearm certificate should receive a firearm renewal certificate in the post approximately 3 months before the expiry of their current certificate. If you delay in submitting the form to your local Garda station until too close to the deadline, by the time the application is processed and you receive the new certificate in the post, it may be past the expiry date of your current certificate. If this occurs, you will be deemed to have an illegally held firearm until the new certificate arrives in the post. Gardaí say they can seize firearms where the owner has failed to renew. They are urging people to contact their local Garda station if they have any queries in relation to the renewal.
And the weather forecast, it'll be cloudy for most this morning, but largely dry with just some patchy rain and drizzle. Sunny spells gradually following from the west in the afternoon. Cloud then building during this evening. Top temperatures today 9 or 10 degrees Celsius in light, occasionally moderate southwesterly or variable breezes. And that's Highland Radio News. We're back with news again at 10 o'clock.
Around this time of year, we like to put our Gaeilge to the test.
Like, what's the Irish for milk?
Banya, of course.
How about ice cream?
Uktarota?
Yep. And the Irish for milkshake?
Ooh, it's gotta be Shamrock Shake.
That's right. Enjoy the Irish translation of a milkshake with a McDonald's Shamrock Shake.
Minty, tasty and full of flavour. Poshy or rash for a limited time only.
From 11 a.m. until the 17th of March, subject to availability.
The Talk of the Northwest, the Greg Hughes Show on Highland Radio.
Good morning, it's Donna-Marie Doherty here in for Greg Hughes today. I'll be with you for the next 2 hours and I'm very excited to be here, a little bit nervous, but we'll navigate through it all together. Now we'll be talking about a few different things. We'll have a talk on endometriosis, the prospect of cruise boats coming to Rathmullen, and the owner of Claire Clothing will be on with us too, and they're sadly closing their doors after a number of years. But first and foremost, let's start off with having a look beyond the front pages of the newspapers. Now, we're going to start off with a look at the Irish Independent and what is the stories in here today beyond the front page. We are going to have a look at this story which is about penalty points, and motorists are going out of the way apparently to avoid them. So the headline reads, "The blame game as thousands of motorists avoid penalty points on their licences." What this essentially is about is that court services are saying that they've been asking now for 15 years for changes to how they are able to prosecute people for penalty points, because there seems to be an issue around driver licence numbers. What they're saying is that they're not able to get the licence numbers And as a result, then they're not able to issue the penalty points for this. Now, the Transport Minister, Darragh O'Brien, says that the court service is responsible for the gathering of this, and basically the buck stops with them, that they should be able to do this. Why are these driver numbers not being collected? Well, they're saying there's a few reasons. There's human error. There is issues with foreign or missing driving licences. And another one is that people aren't bringing their driving licences to court, and they're saying that they're not being told to do this. Now, there was a survey or a research done by Park, which is a road safety campaign group, and what they're saying is that they did a 1 month sample, and that throughout this sample there was 1,500 penalty points offences that weren't given out as a result of this. So the Transport Department now it's emerged that they are paying a third-party provider to try and assist with the capture and allocation for these cases now that are called shell cases. So it seems, for the effort that is ongoing for road safety, I think that this is a bit of low-hanging fruit. Is this not something that should be, solved pretty easily? There's two people in my house at the minute who are going through trying to get their licenses at the morning. It's really rigorous. You have to have all of your information all the time, and the driver number's on that. It seems like an easy enough piece of information to have on standby, but nonetheless, 1,500 penalty points which haven't been issued because people forgot to bring their licence to court. Next, we're going to have a look here at the Irish Times, and we're going to have a little look here about distress over the environment. So there's a piece in here written by Caroline O'Doherty, and she says that people countrywide feel an overwhelming sense of loss, and this is about the destruction of the natural wildlife. So pollution of land and waterways, unwarranted tree felling, illegal hedgerow removal, and the use of weed and pesticides killers, overfishing and intensive agriculture. There's also anger here towards the government, saying that they're taking political timidness and a lack of ownership over the approach to this. In this piece, interesting, they said that they spoke at 11 community conversations, and all over Ireland. Now, I wouldn't be surprised, we don't know if any of these happened in Donegal, but I wouldn't be surprised if they did. I've done 2 series now of Ours to Protect, and there's a massive feeling of responsibility for the environment, I think particularly in Donegal. I know up in Inishowen, there's so many groups that look to protect the environment, and we have the coasts, we have the fisheries, the greens, and people are thinking that there's not been enough done to protect them. Now, this is all from the Nature Restoration Law. So there's an EU-wide target of restoring 30% of damaged or depleted countryside health by 2030. So it's only 4 years, not too far away. And then by 2050, they'll want that by 90%. There's also a lot of efforts ongoing locally as well to have the nature restored, but it's to the native wildlife. So there is a lot of trees that are being felled at the minute, but the idea is that they're being felled, and from that, the sort of more natural, what would have been there years ago, is going to be planted back in, and that's all to do as well with your natural species. Thinking in particular about the squirrels, the red squirrels versus the grey squirrels. So with any efforts that are ongoing, that there will be a sort of, I suppose, boost back to the natural species, and that's both flora and fauna. So I'm going to have a look now to the Irish Daily Mail, and this one was quite interesting. It's a piece by Ken Fox, and that is that revenue spent nearly €2.7 million last year storing and destroying nitrous oxide, smuggled cigarettes and booze. So you hear more often than not about the big seizures that happen of illicit and illegal goods, things that are coming in, they're not regulated, they're not checked, and they're being sold. So it's like the saying that would be out of the back of a lorry or out of the back of a van. And there's a lot of efforts that are being done now to make sure that this is clamped down on, because people, and the nitrous oxide in particular, a lot of young people are taking that. It's sort of in a way to get a high. But whenever this is seized, it has to go somewhere, and so it needs to be kept, and then it also needs to be destroyed so that it can't, I suppose, exit revenue. It's not that it would, but to get back out for consumption. So over 90% of those bills were dealing with canisters of laughing gas. And it's been described as a major headache for the authorities over the last few years. So the cost for the storage of the nitrous oxide, which is laughing gas in layman's terms, was €427,000. And then a further €2.05 million was spent on the destruction of the gas. Like, you have to imagine trying to destroy gas. You know, like, it's dangerous and it needs to be done very carefully. So it's a lot of taxpayers' money that is being used to seize them, to get to the, I suppose, the legal action of it, getting the people responsible, having them held accountable, and then the storing of it and the destruction of it. What's also interested in here that there was 169 hulls of vapes containing THC or other controlled substances. So that THC, again, in layman's terms, would be like marijuana in a different form. It's the chemical compound that's in that. And, with these vapes that contain that, there's no smell. There's no, your sort of usual signs that we'd be told to look out for, particularly in our loved ones who may be using marijuana. So with those vapes, that's not in there. Now, they have been properly, the legislation came in recently enough properly to make sure that they are being clamped down on in the way that they're supposed to. Moving on now to the Irish Daily Star, and Grok is back in the headlines. So it is, but it's a bit more specific this time. So this is about what the AI tool has been used to generate in relation to Liverpool Football Club. So the bot was asked, so that the way that this works on X is that you essentially tweet it. Can't remember what the right word is now, whenever it is X. So you post to @Grok, and you make your request, and then it will come back and generate what it is that you wanted to do. Now, the issue has been that it has been making content of people without any clothes on. That includes children. But the latest scandal now is that it's been used to make offensive content about Liverpool Football Club. So one user had asked it to make a vulgar post about Liverpool, especially their fans, and the response referred to the Hillsborough and the Hazel tragedies. And then in another post, it had made a post about Diogo Jota, who really sadly died in a car crash last year with his brother. Now, he was only 28, and that was, whether you're into football or not, it was so sad. I think he had just recently gotten married as well. He has a young family. And you have to question, how is it that things like this are allowed to be created? I did the European Soapbox. It's a youth debate competition, so it does, and I had the pleasure of being on the judging panel for that last year. But the one that we had done was about AI and the arguments for and against, and a lot of it came down to, can tools be blamed for what people do with it? It's at the end of the day, it is people who are creating this harmful content. Now, let me get to my piece I had earmarked here for the Sun. Oh, this is about Andrew Mountbatten. Now, the former prince has been obviously disgraced since the release of the Epstein files, but he's now disgraced himself that much that he's gotten his very own operation title. So apparently this is Operation Ironville, and the term somehow got leaked by the police. So it's there's been obviously photos and such released of people who they suspect to be Andrew Mountbatten. Now, he's always claimed that he's done no wrongdoing, but this Operation Ironville now has been released. So the piece says that the UK cops unwittingly left a description of the secret case file in a Google search result. And even though the classified term does not appear on any of the police websites itself, clicking on the link leads to a major investigation police portal. So somebody made a boo-boo there, so they did. Whenever we're still on here, I want to also talk about, let me find it here now, our very own Eric Roberts. Now, he's been doing amazing on Dancing with the Stars, and he's got his way now over to the final. Where is he? Oh, here he is now. So Eric and Ariana, they have been just sailing through week after week, We know him, he's a Downings man, and he is all set now to compete in the finals. So we're all going to be backing him here, as will everyone in the county. So, and actually nationwide, Eric, he's got a big following there on social media as well. Now, we're going to have a look at more of a local paper here. This is the Dairy News. And it's good to get a look as well, see what's happening just over the border. So this one is that Dunnes Stores is signalling a major investment and confidence with the Foyle site. So we know Dunnes Stores has been part of the Foyle side shopping centre there for, I think it's about 30 years. I think was it 1995 they'd opened. But now, yes it is, after 30 years, they are set to do a major refurbishment, and it's a multi-million euro investment. So it's nice to see that, a big chain such as Dunnes is seeing the potential with the Northwest and is going to be expanding. So hopefully we'll see there some more jobs. It's also now that the food court there, I think, is going to be coming away. So it's going to sort of expand more into that space. So it's meant to be a single cohesive store environment focused on fashion, lifestyle and homewares. And just the headline underneath that, JLS has been announced as a major headliner for the Live at the Square Music Festival. I couldn't believe when that came out. I was, what a blast from the past with JLS. Now we're going to have a look finally here now to the Irish Daily Mail. Oh, I dropped my papers there. So, what is happening in the Irish Daily Mail today? I have my wee pages turned down here. Oh, I've lost it. Bear with me 2 wee moments. We're going to have a look here now. Ministers believe that tax on fuel will have to be cut if the war continues. Now, I actually was talking in the newsroom this morning, and apparently it's in the Business Post this morning that the government has made an extra 38 million euro in VAT. So people are saying there's wiggle room there for the ministers to cut the tax on fuel if the war continues. We've been seeing a massive increase in the fuel prices. I've been watching them quite keenly. Yesterday, it went down again by €2, but that's still up in the €830 region. So it's a very difficult time for households. So it is the cost of living it just seems something that continues to go up. So we're going to have more chats about that. I'm going to take a little ad break here now, and we'll be back after that there with All Going Well with Councillor Pádraig McGarvey.
The Greg Hughes Show is brought to you by Letterkenny Credit Union. Big plans, big dreams. Home improvement loans, borrow up to €80,000. Visit letterkennycu.ie today.
It takes time for you and your baby to get the hang of breastfeeding. This may happen slower or faster for you than others. Talk to your midwife or public health nurse for support and advice on breastfeeding. Visit mychild.ie for advice on pregnancy, baby and toddler health.
Ensure the safety of your team with Seachtain. We have part-funded courses in first aid, people moving and handling, confined spaces, food hygiene, quad bikes, fire warden, iPath MUPS, electrofusion, welding and machinery cards for Ireland and UK sites. Also delivering online courses like utilities, water hygiene and construction supervisors. Seachtain can deliver group training at your business premises. To find out more, contact seachtain.ie today.
Looking for a car you can count on? Drive away in a brand new 261 Suzuki from Barry Brown Cars, Ireland's #1 Suzuki dealer. With 0% finance, a 10-year warranty and Suzuki's trusted reliability, you'll drive away with total confidence. Visit Barry Brown Cars in Milford or Donegal Town and enjoy 10 years of worry-free motoring.
Thinking about building and renovating your home? Come along to the Inishowen Co-op Home Build and Energy Efficiency Show at the Inishowen Gateway Hotel, Saturday 21st, 11 to 4. Expert speakers, practical advice and free for everyone.
Looking for a career in Donegal with real purpose? Tata Consultancy Services, awarded top employer by the Top Employers Institute, are hiring customer service professionals. Enjoy a competitive package with full training provided. Grow your tech career right here in Donegal. Apply now at tcscareers.ie. That's tcscareers.ie.
Highland Radio Time Checks brought to you by EirGrid, the operator and developer of Ireland's electricity grid. EirGrid, powering up communities, powering up Ireland. The time is...
It is just gone 9:20 here this morning. Now, hopefully I am joined online by Councillor Pádraig McGarvey. Councillor, are you there?
Good morning, Donna.
How are you keeping?
Not so bad.
Good. Now, Councillor, we have you on here now because you have a proposal for this week's upcoming MD meeting to seek expressions of interest for cruise ship companies to come to Rathmullen Pier. Can you tell me a bit more about that?
I have indeed, Donna-Marie. Well, I suppose it's something that I've been thinking about this long time, and with the pier having extensive strengthening works and a new deck carried out in 2024, the pier ticks all the boxes. Rathmullen itself ticks all the boxes, and the wider area to promote tourism. So I think that it's something that should be definitely not overlooked.
And does the Rathmullen in general, like, does it have the facilities to accommodate that?
Well, the pier now, since it's been refurbished, it's the pier head itself is approximately 50 metres. It's the second deepest natural harbour in Ireland, and it's very much 14 metres deep, so I suppose there's enough water there for large cruise ships and large vessels. So I suppose, and the services then on the pier as well, there's new services, the fresh water available. It has refuse disposal and access control as well, so it does tick all the boxes.
Now, I have to say, I'm a little bit biased here. I really enjoy going to Rathmullen up to the Blue Flag Beach there for a walk. I just think it's a lovely area. There's lots of wee businesses there as well that would really benefit from this.
Exactly, and well, that's one thing. It's about promoting tourism, and I suppose putting Rathmullen on the map and giving it an opportunity for visitors and have people come. There's loads of amenities there. As you said, there are 4.5 kilometre Golden Sand Beach. We have Knockalla Drive, Fanad Lighthouse. We have so much within the peninsula that I suppose it has to offer, and I suppose the cruise ships is something that from the sea coming in, Lough Swilly alone, the views and being able to park up in Rathmullen, it's an opportunity that just I think that Donegal County Council Tourism Department should look into now and carry out investigations to have see if the opportunities or interest is there, I suppose, with the companies, because from talking to Killybegs, Donna-Marie, I suppose Killybegs started off, I think, in 2014, and now they've got a committee. They've got a purpose-built office there now, the New Island House in Killybegs, and I suppose Killybegs has said to me that they started off with a lot less than what Rathmullen has to offer, so that's something that made me go ahead and put this motion forward tomorrow.
And it's not going to just be Rathmullen that can benefit from this. You know, like we know that you can get the ferry across the way there, and you'll be in Buncrana. So there's, I suppose that both will be able to benefit from it.
Well, exactly. Like the ferry there from Rathmullen Pier is something. It's fantastic, and I suppose the ferry, the cruise ships, I think set up day trips for their tourists to leave the dock, and they have so many opportunities. Some can stay, some can go. There could be trips to Glenveigh, trips to Fanad Lighthouse, trips to Rossapena, Downings. Like there's so much to offer, and I suppose that's just the county itself. And I suppose giving this part of the county an opportunity for tourists to see, and you know, with Instagram and all that now, there's an opportunity to, as I said, put it on the map and get the Great Palm Arch there as well. Like there's so many things in our area that I suppose these cruise ships and their companies could benefit from, and I suppose promoting then the business and the economic development. And I suppose Rathmullen's getting a new hotel now on the corner there at the top of the pier, and I suppose 2 fantastic hotels on the town and 3 bars. Rathmullen's thriving, and I suppose it's just the next step to promoting the whole area.
Is there any idea, or is there any projections of maybe passengers or footfall that we could see coming through annually with something like this?
Well, going by some of the cruise ships there could be 5,000 on some of them, but I suppose there's Killybegs this year have 35 cruise ships coming, and next year already have 37. So I suppose this is about laying the foundations now to see what Tourism Ireland, Fáilte Ireland, these stakeholders that drive on tourism for us, to see what they can come up with, and see, I suppose, if there can be surveys carried out to see what Rathmullen is capable to carry. But I think Rathmullen is well capable to carry as many as Killybegs if we can, or sometimes we could just share them, or but there is great potential there.
Well, there's no doubt at all about the potential, and you sort of mentioned there about social media. We've seen Love Donegal Day takes off every year, and then just during the summer there we had the T-Bex travel convention. So Donegal is getting on the map, and I suppose it's up now to the council to I suppose maybe strike while the iron's hot.
That's right, exactly. Well, I am the chair of the economic development, I suppose. From sitting and chairing the meetings, I see the potential, and I'm always thinking, and I suppose to think that we have Rathmullen here and the just what it has to offer, and there's just so much, and I don't want to miss out. Like, I wanted to have the best opportunity as any other town has had.
Councillor, thank you very much for that. It's very interesting indeed. That is Councillor Pádraig McGarvey there. He says he's chair of the Economic Committee. Just want to give a little mention to this here happening tonight. Celebrity TV chef Nevin Maguire is to host a charity cookery demonstration, and that's in the Clanry Hotel. There will also be Barry Quinn from the Portneuf Market Garden. He's emceeing the event. Tickets at the door are €25. They open at 6:30, and all the proceeds are going to the Down Strands Family Fund Support. So something different, something to do with your on Monday evening to sort of just get over. Sometimes Mondays just need a wee bit of extra help. We'll have more up after this break.
The talk of the Northwest, the Greg Hughes Show on Highland Radio.
The Greg Hughes Show with Letterkenny Credit Union, powering your plans with fast digital loans. Apply online or through our app in minutes and get funds straight into your current account. Easy, quick and convenient. And our digital offering perfectly complements the friendly face-to-face service you know and trust.
What does it take to be Ireland's best-selling car brand? At Kelly's Toyota Letterkenny and Mount Charles, we offer a world of choice. With our hybrid range, plug-in hybrids and fully electric cars, you can be as electric as you want to be. There's trade-in boosters of up to €2,500 and great monthly rates. So talk to Kelly's Toyota Letterkenny and Mount Charles today. Toyota, built for a better world. Terms and conditions apply. Best-selling claim based on latest figures.
Whether you're travelling from Milford to Manchester or Buncrana to Boston this Easter, An Post Money is your foreign currency exchange partner in Donegal. Bob into your local post office and get 0% commission on foreign currency in cash or card instantly, 6 days a week. An Post Money, making better happen. Terms and conditions apply. An Post Money currency card is issued by PPS EUSA, pursuant to licence by MasterCard International. PPS EUSA is authorised by the National Bank of Belgium and is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland for conduct of business rules. An Post is authorised by the Minister for Finance to provide foreign currency cash.
At SuperValue this week, half price on SuperValue fresh Irish pork loin. Mix and match 3 for €10 and signature taste party food, perfect for entertaining. And with real rewards, get set for Mother's Day with Cadbury milk trays €7 and Ferrero Rocher 24-piece €10. Also, check your rewards app for vouchers. SuperValue, still super, now better value.
Discover Derry, a city where the walls tell stories and everyone is welcomed like an old friend. Soak up the riverside buzz at Ebrington Hotel. Explore the city's museums where history comes to life around every corner. Spice things up over dinner at Umi. Then dance the night away at Sandino's. Here, you don't just have a good time, you have a legendary good time. Start planning now at visitderry.com.
The future of driving is here. Discover the all-new Kia range at iMotors. Drive Donegal's best-selling car from Donegal's best-selling car brand. Choose from electric, hybrid, diesel or petrol. Expertly designed for wherever life takes you. Enjoy 0% finance options and 7-year warranty. Visit iMotors in Drumkeen near Letterkenny or explore the full range at imotors.ie.
iMotors, fearless generation.
It's just come up to 9:30 here on the Greg Hughes Show, and I'm joined in studio by Dr. Gaeilge Cummins and Elaine Walsh. Now, Dr. Cummins, you are a lecturer in the Department of Nursing and Healthcare at the ATU, and Elaine, you also are a lecturer at Nursing at ATU. Welcome very much.
Thanks you so much for having
us. I'm really enjoying not being so lonely in here on the first day. Excuse me. Now, we're in today to talk about the Fit Féile Game On, and it's a women's health festival in the ATU in Letterkenny. Gaeilge, can I come to you first? Will you be able to just sort of explain what it is?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're absolutely delighted. We're counting down the days to March 21st, where the Department of Nursing and Healthcare at our Letterkenny campus is going to host Fit Féile. So as you mentioned, it is a women's health and wellbeing and fitness event. It's probably an all-day event, really, when you look at the schedule. We are looking forward to welcoming all our attendees around 10 o'clock for a very quick registration. And the reason that we're having short registration is because we have a QR code, which we can talk about a little bit later on. But we want people to register in advance for the event.
Okay.
So after that, then we will have, guest expert talks starting around 10:20, and they'll go on for about 45 minutes to an hour. And my colleague Elaine can talk about the fantastic lineup because she's been working so hard behind the scenes in tandem with these experts. And then essentially after that we'll be heading out on the pitch in our runners for a group warm-up, because we are having a Gaelic for Mothers and Others blitz starting just around 11:15, 11:30. And while the entries have closed for the Gaelic for Mothers and Others blitz, because there's been phenomenal demand for this since we first opened it a few weeks ago, we do encourage members of the public that are coming to the morning talks to put on their club colours, to come out and support their family members, to get the flags out, the bunting out, the signs, whatever else it is. That'll go on for a few hours, and then towards the end of the day then we'll just have a small recap back in one of our lecture rooms about the key health messages around women's health for the day. And we'll have a very short prize giving ceremony.
Oh,
yes, yeah. So,
interesting. Pete, there's competition.
So, Elaine, do you want to say who your lineup is, because it's really impressive?
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. And as Gail said, it's completely surrounded women's health and promoting women's health, and it's a festival empowering women's health, really. So we have such an impressive lineup. We have Dr. Sarah Brennan. She's a GP with a special interest in menopause and women's health. We also have Sarah Toy, and she's coming from the National Clinical Advisor Centre. She is with the HSE, the National Office of Suicide Prevention. We also have a Caroline Harrigan, and she's a senior physiotherapist, and she's going to talk about pelvic health and continence care. And we also have Neil Barrett, and he's a lecturer in sport in the ATU along with us. And he's going to talk about prevention of sports injuries in women as well. So such a fantastic lineup of speakers. And as well as that, we're going to have information stands on the day. So many health professionals have signed up to those as well, which is absolutely fantastic. So again, women have the opportunity to speak on a one-to-one basis with the health professionals as well. There's so much information around cervical health, breast check, etc. And there's also going to be complementary health assessments done by our students and our staff. So cardiovascular health assessment, BP checks, pulse, respiration, BMI checks. So there's just so much happening on the day, but it's all based around fun, being inclusive, come support your team, as Gail says, bring your flags, and you know, we're going to have a fantastic day. We're really looking forward to it.
There seems to be a lot of, I suppose, maybe breaking down barriers. Would that sort of be a theme of this? I just heard whenever you said incontinence really stuck out. I think after women have babies, sometimes their pelvic floor muscles just aren't as strong as they were. And people can be embarrassed to go in case they do wee themselves a wee bit. Like, it happens.
Absolutely. And prior to Jordan Education, my background is a nurse, and I worked in women's health. I'm currently doing my PhD as well in menopause. So the research is showing that we need more awareness out there in relation to women's health. We need to break down those barriers, as you say, and it's very much about connecting the women in the community with the fantastic services that we have available. And we have so much available on our doorstep, so much expertise, and it's about showing everybody in our community what is available and how to access them services.
And Gail, you just mentioned there before we had went on air, this is the first time that this is happening.
Absolutely, yeah. I suppose the Department of Nursing and Healthcare at the Letterkenny campus has been really proactive, you know, in the area of public health, health promotion, nursing over the last number of years. And we nearly do something big every year, but this is the first kind of time, well, in my history anyways, in the department, that we focused specifically on, you know, a Gaelic for Mothers and Others type event, along then with bringing in the health dissemination element to it. And I suppose I work closely with Elaine and other colleagues in the department. I better give the other colleagues a bit of a shout out.
We better, yeah.
And you better help me in case I miss anyone. But the likes of Breda Mulgrew, Charlene Bogan, our head of department, Dr. Louise McBride, and of course Michael Murphy, the Donegal star, who is our head of sport. And I suppose, we kind of met last April, May, and we kind of said it's really time, that we focused on women's health now. So this is kind of, nearly 8, 9, 10 months in the making. And yes, it's the very first time that we've run an event of this scale and focusing on the specific issues that Elaine mentioned a few minutes ago. Another first in the department, I think, is that we now have our very first Gaelic for Mothers and Others Department of Nursing team, which are made up of lecturers and students. And we're hoping on the day that some of our colleagues from our campus in St Angela's and Sligo and from Castlebar as well might join us and put on the ATU colours and participate. Gaelic for Mothers and Others is supposed to be non-competitive, but I think
there's a blitz happening, isn't there?
There is a blitz, yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, so it might bring out that competitive streak across. But yeah, it's we nearly focus on one event every year, and this year we just said now is the time. Elaine is doing her PhD, and there's so much going on, research and awareness in the national media, that we said yes, now is the time.
And the mothers and others in particular, that is so important socially as well as getting fit. It can be very isolating after you have a baby. Yeah, you feel like all you see is the inside of your house and your lovely little baby, which you're so happy to have.
Yes.
But
absolutely,
that just becomes your world.
And it's so inclusive, and you don't have to have played Gaelic football before. Even at our own team, we have so many staff and students who've joined the team, and it's fantastic. And the social aspect of that around all of our health and well-being is key, really. And that's what this whole event is about. It's about the physical health as much as the mental health and everything else, the woman's health, and how they all marry together and how we can support people. And even what all of the organisations that have come in, our ATU, our HSE, our Ladies Gaelic Football Association, the Gaelic for Mothers and Others, then Unions, our local club, has come on board and have been pivotal really in relation to organising the Blitz. And Gail mentioned our own department, we have Dr. Louise McBride has given us so much support, and we're always going to her in relation to these initiatives and ideas, and she's always so supportive. And our organising committee, which Gail has mentioned already, and as part of that organising committee we also have St Unions. We have Katrina Carroll, Kevin McGee and Alan O'Connell, and they've been with us since April, putting the whole event together as well. So we'd like to thank them so much and encourage as many women from the public to come out and be part of this fantastic festival on the day.
And is there a fee to participate in it, or how do we go about registering?
The talks on the day in the morning section are free to the community. That's part of our inclusive efforts to include every woman from every background. The teams, there is a small registration fee, but that's more associated with insurance and the LGFA and the Gaelic for Mothers and Others registration. The point I was going to make, just as Elaine was talking, you can dip in and out of the day as you feel the need. So while we have 5 or 6 talks going on in the morning, this is very much about personalised healthcare and empowering our participants, our attendants on the day. So if there's something a talk you want to go to, by all means attend, but by all means also take advantage of the range of experts who are going to be around campus and are available to give one-to-one consultations and free health checks. So it's very much about the person owning the experience themselves.
And as well, there were people listening that you said might have not picked up football for years. They might have never picked one up. It is open to everyone, and I suppose even if you want to go into if there is something worrying you, this could just be a nice set way to get a free health check and just maybe start a journey.
It's a lovely informal way. And as well as that, there is another, I suppose it's a twofold benefit in that it's a teaching and learning opportunity for our own Department of Nursing students who are going to be there on the day. And, while we talk to them in the lecture hall about the theory associated with all of this, this is a lovely opportunity for them to give back to their communities and apply, the skills that they're learning in the classroom. And as we said, it is free, so why not avail of it? We'll be there on campus all day.
Okay, and just remind us now when it's on, where it's on, and how people can register.
It's on the 21st of March, which is a Saturday. It's on an ATU Donegal, and there is a QR code for registration, and it's on our Facebook page, the Department of Nursing and Healthcare.
And we'll get that shared in our socials as well, ladies. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
That
Emma.
is
Thank you.
Dr. Bishop, have your titles right. Dr. Gail Cummins, Lecturer, Department of Nursing and Healthcare in the ATU, and Elaine Walsh, also a lecturer in nursing at ATU. Thank you so much.
No problem at all. Thank you.
Where your opinion matters. The Greg Hughes Show on Highland Radio.
The Greg Hughes Show with Letterkenny Credit Union. New to borrowing or haven't borrowed in a while? Our welcome loan is here for you. Borrow up to €50,000 at just 5.95% APR with no hidden fees ever. Apply online or in branch today at letterkennycu.ie.
After 26 years, Claire Clothing Letterkenny is closing. I am very grateful to all my customers for supports and friendships. The closing down sale is now on. Thanks for all the love and support over the years. From Claire Clothing, Letterkenny.
Screwfix St. Patrick's Day deals are now on. Save over €20 on the Titan 150 bar pressure washer, now €154.95. Save €65 on the DeWalt 18-volt brushless combi drill with 2.5 amp hour batteries, now €249.95. With savings like that, there's no stopping you getting them in. Shop now at Screwfix, online, in-store or on the app until the 17th of March. Visit screwfix.ie for full T's and C's.
Thinking of a Euro NCAP 5-star rated new SUV this 261? The Mazda CX-60 or 80 plug-in hybrid gives you the choice of 5, 6 or 7 seats, a low APR rate, and peace of mind with a 6-year warranty. Plus, for CX-60 you can get a trade-in booster of up to €4,000. Test drive the 261 Mazda range at McGinley's Letterkenny. Mazda, crafted in Japan.
Discover full and part-time courses from Level 2 to Master's degree at the College of Agriculture, Food and Rural Enterprise, Caffrey, Northern Ireland's specialist agri-food and land-based college, with campuses in Greenmount, Antrim, Lochary, Cookstown and Enniskillen. Study a course in food, agriculture, horticulture, equine, floristry, veterinary nursing, land-based engineering or business. Book now to attend an open day from Saturday 7th of March to Friday 13th of March. For event information, visit cafre.ac.uk.
Serving up a satisfying Sunday-worthy roast. That's more to value. With these Lidl Plus offers, Tenderboard B approved Irish round roast joint, now only $9.99 per kilo. And 2 kilos of Board B approved Irish rooster potatoes, half price, just $1.89. To bring great taste to any table. Lidl, more to value.
Highland Radio weather updates with McElhenney's. Find the perfect outfit for any event this season with our extensive collection of occasion wear for women and suiting for men. Explore more in-store or shop online at mcelhenneys.com.
I knew there'd be something that would catch me out today, and it was the weather. I will get back to you with the weather just before we take the news. But first, I just want to hop over here now. I have Cheryl on the line. Now, Cheryl has endometriosis, and she attended a meeting in Dublin with the Health Minister to discuss progress over the last 6 months with endometriosis. Cheryl, good morning.
Good morning, Donna.
How are you?
I'm okay. I'm very upset about the meeting that was held last week.
So, I suppose before we just jump right into the meeting, endometriosis is a condition to do with the lining of the uterus and it growing places it shouldn't be. Is that a fair enough summary for people who mightn't have heard of it?
I think it's what a lot of people think that it is. It's not inaccurate, but I personally believe that we need to start taking the word uterus out of the conversation because it's a neuroimmunological disease, and that essentially means that it has a relationship between nerves and the immune system. But I mean, I would like to preface the conversation with saying I'm not a medical professional or a scientific researcher, clinician of any kind. I'm a patient with a patient's perspective, but I've done my homework and I've done my research, and we need to start getting the story correct with endometriosis.
And it is, unfortunately, anyone who finds themselves having to start a journey with endometriosis, they end up having to do an awful lot of research themselves because, and the reason that you're on today, the services just aren't there.
That's absolutely correct. And I was horrified to see, I think it was yesterday or the day before, it was Dr. Susan O'Sullivan. She's the chair of Ireland's Obstetrics and Gynecology Institute, and she had said, quote unquote, she said, training for endometriosis in Ireland meets and often exceeds international standards, which is in fact completely incorrect. In fact, that women are traveling abroad at great cost financially and time-wise to have very serious surgeries. There is some help that's been happening recently from there's some financial help that's been brought in the last 6 months, but it's the problem there is that it's still physicians are still making decisions on their patients based on radiology that is not necessarily to be trusted here. I know myself, I've given my MRI reports to physicians abroad specializing in the disease, and they've told me more in 10 minutes than anyone's told me here in a year or 2 years.
And now it took you 16 years to become diagnosed.
That's correct. Sadly, I ordered my reports from Letterkenny General, my medical reports, and I went back and I saw in 2007 a surgery that I had. And with the information that I now have, I know I could read the report myself and indicate endometriosis. So I've been going against the grain for the guts of 16 years, and thinking that it was just laziness or tiredness or fatigue or stress and I work quite a high stress job. I work in the film and television industry. I work as an art director on set, and I was just thinking, oh my gosh, it's just work. It's just stress. But this is a disease that. Sorry, it's not something that it's not something that you just get. You're born with it. This is a disease. It's tissue in the body that's abnormal, and it causes havoc. It's been found in every single organ, which affects in turn every single organ system. And what we need in Ireland now is a centre of excellence. So that means that you have specialists that are working in the field that not only have a baseline specialty, and maybe it's in thoracics or it's in gynecology, but that also have done a fellowship or have done further expertise in endometriosis, and they have a consistent footfall of patients going in. So that multidisciplinary team, they know where the disease hides, how it responds, and how it responds kind of holistically in the body.
And that is just the age-old answer that women have been getting for so long, that you're just stressed. You just need to relax, or especially young girls, just your hormones. It will all settle out. Now, you attended a meeting in Dublin though with the health minister. How did that go, or how did that even come about, I suppose, to start with?
I was horrified. I travelled 4.5 hours up and 4.5 hours back, which is about 9 hours of travel. And I, 2 days before, received a email from them. And this was, just to say, this was a listening meeting. It was titled a listening meeting. And about I think about 100 patients were invited, maybe 50 patients were invited, because there was only about 35 women there. But I received an email a couple of days beforehand, and it literally stated in the email, there may not be time to get your point across orally, but there will be boards set up that we will have 4 themes that you can work within, and you can respond based on those themes. We'll have pen and papers available to you. How can you have a listening meeting if you cannot speak in the first place? But also the way that they actually manage the time, it was just an insult to patients' intelligence, because when you invite 50 women, even if it's 100 women or 50 women, you're giving them maybe 3 minutes, maybe 2 minutes each. And that's if things run exactly like clockwork and to time. But if you also want to respond to those stories or to those perspectives, then you're also doubling on that time. So there was no time that was allocated correctly in the first place. And it's just an insult to be told that, oh, the time has just flown past. And I wasn't waiting 6 days or 6 weeks for this. I was waiting for 6 months for this, having engaged with the minister. And there was a lot of talk about having exceeded in their promise of delivering 100 extra surgeries. They actually exceeded that and delivered 144 extra surgeries. I wasn't one of those people, and I've engaged with this process since last year. I was in the Dáil. I listened to the minister completely dismiss patients. I then trusted her enough to go and give her a chance. 2 months later, she invited patients to a symposium, and nothing has changed. In fact, my pathology has doubled in that time. So now a specialist in Greece won't even look at my case. He said, no, I have to turn that away now. So my circumstances are exponentially more complicated now.
Sorry, just to explain that, why is it now that your specialist in Greece won't look at it?
Because the mass that's grown has grown too large, so it's now become too complicated a surgery to perform.
Oh, Cheryl, that's really, really unfortunate to hear. And I suppose just talking about that meeting as well, this is a complex issue. They say it's a complex. Sorry, go ahead.
The thing about it is, Donna, this is a disease. It's as old as time. It's not the coronavirus. It's not an acute instance. This is something that's been going on for hundreds of years. So how come endometriosis, which in fact the word is completely wrong, if you were to directly translate that from the original word itself, which borrows from the Greek endo, which means within, metri, which means uterus, osis, which means disease, you would be forgiven for thinking it means disease inside the uterus. In fact, it's actually disease that has never been found in the uterus. It's found outside in the body in other areas, but it doesn't start in the uterus. This is cells. They're cells that form an abnormal tissue that express themselves in lesions and adhesions. And adhesions are a fibrous tissue that strangulate organs. A friend of mine has had half of her diaphragm resected. That's the muscle that you use to breathe. And if you're having issues with your diaphragm, but you're in a queue for gynecology, I mean, it's just math.
Cheryl, so what's next for you now? I suppose personally now that you can't get your surgery in Greece, and then on the flip side, what way was the meeting left? Is there going to be a follow up, or did they take your written submissions?
I'll be honest. I had an email sent to them within maybe an hour of receiving the first email, because I know with technology these days, we're not even only in a revolution of technology, we're in a revolution of information. You can pass information on very quickly, and patients now have access to that. So in terms of how the meeting ended, as soon as they stated to the group, they said, look, we've got 10 minutes left, there won't be enough time, I just left, because it was a waste of my time. It's 9 hours for me to travel, and that doesn't include stopping and starting for lunch or whatever it is. And to travel there, to not even get those 3 minutes or those 2 minutes to speak. And the question that I had was that question around how many women that have engaged with this process since September of last year have been on that 144 patient list. How many? Because it wasn't me, it wasn't friends that I have. And the next step for me now, I have to make a decision. Can I trust the surgeons in Ireland, who I have no doubt are great with their surgical skill and can do their job? I have no problem with that. But do they understand endometriosis is my question. And it's often put into my mind doubt that I'm hearing from hundreds of other women, not just 2 or 3 or 10. This is hundreds of women who are talking about this online, saying that they've had experiences where disease has been left behind. And again, this is a cellular disease, so this is not something that a surgeon can go in and look at and see through tissue. No one can do that. It has to be under microscope to be able to give it a histology and to confirm the histology. So can I trust the surgeons here to perform the surgery here, or do I have to go abroad? And in doing that, I mean, we're not going for a dental check. This is surgery that you could be under for 4 hours, 6 hours. A friend of mine was under for 11 hours.
Oh my goodness. And
they're saying to us, we might be able to, if you just make sure that your consultant asks for someone to travel with you, because then we can make accommodations for that. I wouldn't go to the dentist and be under anesthetic and not have someone come and get me.
Exactly. Cheryl, it just feels now, that this, even just our conversation, it feels like there is no real conclusion, but that is for you and for loads of other women, that is just the way that life has to go.
And it shouldn't be. I mean, we have half of this country. There's 2.5 million, if not more, women in this country. So we're talking about 10% of the country, and that's what the women that we know. Because the only way to diagnose endometriosis is via surgery, a keyhole surgery. I was told it would take a day or two. I was out of work for 2 weeks, and I work in film. Nobody walks off a set for 2 weeks and gets that time without it being questioned. And in order to confirm it, you have to have Now, I know that the health minister is kind of going on kind of a presumptive basis now, because there is other ways to diagnose this based on symptoms, but you can't actually confirm it without that histology for it. And I don't know, but there's a man in Australia, Dr. Simon Gordon, who's been performing surgeries on women with telling them that they have more severe endometriosis than they actually do, and he's now being investigated for that. So this is the need for an official body to step in and to reassure women is just it's so important.
Cheryl, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate your time, and keep us updated with any further developments on that. That is Cheryl. Cheryl's had endometriosis there for 16 years, and she's travelled to Dublin for a meeting, which was ultimately very disappointing, which unfortunately is what we hear time and time again whenever it comes to women's health in general, but endometriosis in particular is something that people end up having to struggle for much longer than they should have to do. Now we're going to have a little change of tact here. I am joined by Mr. Brendan Devaney, presenter of the DL Debate. Brendan, how are you keeping?
Good, Donna-Marie, how are you?
I'm good, I'm not sweating as much now. I've relaxed a bit.
Oh, hey, no bother to you. I'm sweating a wee bit myself. Sunday fun days. I've been clinging on to the weekend for dear life there on Sunday nights, and never can get into bed early, Donna-Marie. So listen, you're up and at it, no bother to you.
Brendan, what was it looking like there the last weekend for sport?
Yeah, listen, obviously Donegal was one of the breaks in the league. You know, it's a very hectic schedule. It's 7 games in 9 weeks. So this was one of the weeks off for our lads. They're heading down to Roscommon now, next day out. Like our hurlers, they were playing the weekend, and they had a chance to, really put their promotion hopes and get back to Division 2. But Wicklow, who's one of the teams they're up against, come up to Letterkenny and unfortunately beat them. I guess one of them games in the league where you find out about yourself. Donegal won 4 in a row, and some days you can have a bit of an off day, and that's how it looks. But certainly they're actually away to Roscommon as well. Funny, a few weeks back the hurlers and the footballers both played Armagh the same weekend, so it'll be the same now with the Rossies coming up there. That's next on the challenge for them, and so hopefully they can still gain promotion. Donna-Marie, minor ladies had a huge victory over Monaghan. Very encouraging to see 214 to 4 points. It was a good weekend out for them as well. So Mickey McCann is coming up to talk hurling with me this evening, and actually Brian Cody, the Kilkenny legend, he's down at the Burt Dinner Dance this Friday, so I'm emceeing that. So it'll be a good weekend. I didn't want to pinch Cody and have the hurling. I want to get an interview for the DL debate, but I thought I'd better leave the Bird guys if I'm up first. I'll leave that for another week, Donna-Marie.
Good stuff. And then who do you have coming up then on the DL debate?
Aye, well, Mickey McCann, the hurling manager, come up, and Rory Kavanagh, former Donegal great, one of our All-Ireland winners. So we're going to just talk about the season was. Donegal, phenomenal start. Obviously, won the McKenna Cup, how they played in the league so far. Obviously unbeaten that last draw out with Galway and Ballyshannon. So listen, looks like we're heading towards the league final. So real exciting time right across the board for sport here in the county, because all the county teams are going really well. So be interesting to get Rory's views on what he's made of Donegal so far, and obviously Jim in the second tenure, a man he knows so well after the brilliant first 4 years that he had. Rory was right in the middle of that there, so it'd be great to catch up with him and get his views on where Donegal's at.
Perfect, Brendan. I'm sorry I need to go to an ad break here. I've kind of left myself a bit short, but DL debate on at 7 o'clock this evening. Brendan Devenney, thank you very much.
Thank you.
The Greg Hughes Show is brought to you by Letterkenny Credit Union. Big plans, big dreams. Home improvement loans, borrow up to €80,000. Visit letterkennycu.ie today.
McGowan Hearing, one of the longest established audiologists in the Northwest, now have weekly clinics in Letterkenny, Buncrana and Carndonagh. Book your free hearing aid consultation at one of these clinics, or with audiologist Darren McGowan in your own home. Call 07191 00208 or visit mcgowanhearing.com.
Treat yourself this March at Mulroy Woods Hotel. Enjoy a main course and drink for just €16.95 Monday to Thursday, or Sunday lunch only €26.95 for 3 courses at Mulroy Woods Hotel, Milford. Bookings on 9153313.
Letterkenny Show Society Pedigree Bull Sale will be held in Reformart on Tuesday the 10th of March at 6:30pm, with 64 pedigree bulls on offer, consisting of 37 Charolais, 10 Limousin, 15 Angus and 2 Hereford. Online bidding available on martbids.ie. That's this Tuesday at Reformart.
NS Contracts Newton Cunningham Donegal, with years of experience in tarmac and SMA mastic asphalt for driveways and commercial projects. We also do curving, paving, drainage and groundworks. Call 086 447 8372 or email sp.contracts@yahoo.ie for your free, no obligation quote today.
Award-winning care is at the heart of Blue Poppy Dentistry, Implants and Orthodontics, Letterkenny in Donegal Town. Dr. Lydia, recently named Ulster Regional winner of the Colgate Caring Dentist Awards, is now accepting patients for composite bonding, veneers, airflow cleans and children's dentistry. To book, call 074 91 20355 or book online at bluepoppydental.com. Blue Poppy Dentistry, Implants and Orthodontics, where smiles shine brighter.
2026 may be well underway, but don't forget about the old tax year. Log on to Revenue's My Account to check your end-of-year position and claim any tax credits you are entitled to. If you're due a refund, you'll get it within days. If you owe us money, we'll work with you on a payment option. My Account. It's quick, it's easy, and it's free.
This Wednesday, Ballyglistane returns for Season 2 on Highland Radio. The same characters.
3 fires had already happened before I made the connection. By then it was too late.
New problems.
Hannah, I can't tell you. It's better that way. I have to sort this out on my own, alone.
Find out more every Wednesday at 8.
Live, on air, online and on the Highland Radio app. This is Highland Radio News.
Good morning, it's 10 o'clock. Donal Kavanagh at the news desk. Gardaí are warning of delays on the road between Donegal and Sligo this morning. Emergency services are currently at the scene of a serious road traffic collision on the N15 between Tullahan in County Leitrim and Cliffany in County Sligo. The stretch of road is closed with local diversions in place. Road users are being urged to take alternative routes if possible. Gardaí say any HGVs travelling from Sligo to Donegal should divert onto the N16 via Manorhamilton. Just under €6 million is to be spent on housing adaptation grants in Donegal over the next year. €4.9 million is being provided by government, backed by 870,000 match funding from Donegal County Council. Minister Charlie McConalogue says he expects work to be done on 600 to 700 homes in the county under the scheme over the next 12 months. There have been serious concerns expressed in Donegal at the amount of time it takes to process grants, particularly because of a lack of occupational therapists. Minister McConalogue acknowledges that is an issue that needs to be addressed.
Yeah, it's an issue that has been raised with me by a number of people who have applied, and something I've been taking up with the HSE in relation to that need. It is something I believe that they're trying to address. There's been a delay in relation to getting the length of time it takes to get that assessment completed. We need to see that timeline reduced so that when people need and apply, that they can get the appropriate authorisations and appropriate assessments to be able to get the grant drawn down. So I know it's something they're working on.
The price of oil has gone up by 25% since Friday. It now sits at $114 for a barrel of crude. It's the result of continuing conflict in the Middle East, with explosion heard this morning in Dubai. Concerns are being raised over what the rising oil prices could mean for heating, petrol and food bills here. SSE Electricity's Managing Director Stephen Gallagher says the cost of electricity will very much depend on how long this situation lasts.
Like, your oil prices have clearly gone up. Gas prices have lifted on the back of that. And gas actually sets the majority of the price of our electricity in the market. So you would expect that has meant that spot electricity prices are higher on the back of that. Our hedging does protect our customers, but it's a volatile market out there.
There are reports this morning that the government is considering a package of measures to support people in the event of continuing rising prices. Nothing official coming from government as of yet there. Donegal County Council is being urged to carry out resurfacing and strengthening works at the Boat Quay in Bundoran. The issue is to be raised at a Donegal Municipal District meeting this week by Councillor Michael McMahon. He's urging the MD to make representations to the Council's Marine section regarding flooding and repairs to the Boat Quay. He says it's a very important facility and work is needed to ensure it's not damaged any more than it already has been through subsidence.
It's a very, very active boat quay. It's been used by a lot of groupings. The home of the RNLA. It's used by the fishing club. It's used by surfing, and it's used by a lot of people. And the centre of it is sinking down a little bit. The part of it that I'd like to get repaved, get the paving stones up and reset again, So I am looking for funding to see what can be actually done with it.
A planning expert is urging the government to invest in small towns and villages if changes to one-off housing rules go ahead. It follows an interview in the Sunday Independent in which Housing Minister James Brown announced plans to liberalise regulations by relaxing rules around one-off homes in rural areas. Chartered planner and University College Cork lecturer Brendan O'Sullivan says scattered housing could cause problems unless other issues are addressed.
On the one hand, the government wants to have more compact growth. They want to have better chances for people to have active travel, not necessarily depend on the car for every journey. And what they're not seeming to do yet, at least, is to link this question with the prospects of keeping Irish villages and towns open. The decline of the rural town and the rural village in certain parts of the country is a really serious issue.
And Gardaí in Donegal have issued a renewal reminder to all firearms certificate holders in the county that it's vital they renew their licences on time. With more, here's Katie Gillen.
Each current holder of a firearm certificate should receive a firearm renewal certificate in the post approximately 3 months before the expiry of their current certificate. If you delay in submitting the form to your local Garda station until too close to the deadline,
By the time the application is processed and you receive the new certificate in the post, it may be past the expiry date of your current certificate. If this occurs, you will be deemed to have an illegally held firearm until the new certificate arrives in the post. Gardaí say they can seize firearms where the owner has failed to renew. They are urging people to contact their local Garda station if they have any queries in relation to the renewal.
Weather forecast cloudy for most this morning, largely dry with just some patchy rain and drizzle. Sunny spells gradually following from the west in the afternoon. Cloud building again this evening in top temperatures of 9 or 10 degrees Celsius. Light, occasionally moderate, southwesterly or variable breezes. And that's Highland Radio News. We're back with news again at 11 o'clock. Don't forget you can check all the day's news on highlandradio.com. But for now, from the news team, good morning. The obituary notices for this Monday morning, the 9th of March. The death has taken place of Edward Rawdon, Moville. Edward's remains will repose at Eamon McLaughlin's funeral home, Station Road, Carndonagh, this evening from 5 p.m. until 8 p.m. Funeral from there tomorrow morning at 9:10. For 10 o'clock funeral mass in St Pius X Church, Moville, followed by interment in Ballybrack Cemetery. The funeral mass can be viewed live on movilleparish.com. The death has taken place of Richard Armitage, Massiness House, Creasla. His remains will repose at his late residence today from 12 noon until 9 p.m. Funeral service in St Michael's Church, Creasla, tomorrow at 12 noon, with private cremation to follow. The funeral service can be viewed live on mcn.live. Family time, please, before the funeral tomorrow. Family flowers only, please. Donations in lieu if desired to the Donegal Hospice, care of any family member, or James Harkin, funeral director. And the death has taken place of Katie McFadden, née Deary, Drummond, Letterkenny. Katie's remains will repose at her late residence today from 12 noon until 10 p.m, with rosary at 9. Funeral from there tomorrow at 10:30, going to the Church of the Irish Martyrs, Ballyrain, Letterkenny, for 11 o'clock Requiem Mass, which can be viewed live on the parish YouTube channel. Interment afterwards in New Leck Cemetery. Family time, please, before the funeral tomorrow. Family flowers only, please. Donations in lieu, if desired, to the Friends of Letterkenny University Hospital, care of any family member. For family information and more details regarding wakes and funerals, please go to highlandradio.com.
Highland Radio. Every mum has a favourite child. If you suspect it's not you, Aldi is here to help this Mother's Day. Our favourite child essentials, including flowers, candles and chocolates, are here to help you get a good few steps ahead of your siblings. Because while Mum may claim she has no favourites, this year she absolutely does. Guess what? It's you. Being the favourite child. It's not complicated at Aldi.
Now, it's almost 10:10 here. We're into the second hour of the Greg Hughes Show. It's absolutely flying by. Now, on the line, I have Sergeant Fergus McGrory, Divisional Crime Prevention Officer at Letterkenny Garda Station. Good morning.
Good morning, Donna-Marie. How are you?
I'm all good. Now, you were on today. It's in relation. There's a few wee appeals, I suppose, that you wanted to make, but it's in relation to the oil prices are going up, so there's more of a risk there of them being stolen. But also, what we'll start with is that you have a warning here on bogus callers.
Bogus callers, Donna-Marie, seems to be rising its head again. We had this last year, and throughout, it doesn't seem to be seasonal or anything. It does come periodically. They have been seen in the county again in recent weeks. I'm just asking people not to engage with these people if they come to their door. These people arrive out of the blue. Maybe they're offering to, they might present themselves and say that they have leftover tarmac or something from a job that they're working on for the council or something like that. I can assure you that there's nobody going up to anybody's house with leftover tarmac, and it isn't even tarmac. It might be oil with some chips through it, and they'll come there, they'll look for a deposit, they'll quote you a price, maybe give you a good price. When they start the work then, poor quality work,
and then maybe put you under pressure saying that there's overruns and we need more money and this kind of stuff. So just the advice is to people not to engage with these people at all. Do not let them onto your property. If you see them coming onto your property, if you see an elderly neighbour that they're coming onto their property, putting people under pressure, will you just please let us know? There's no harm. Bring the guards and we'll go out there and check it out. I always say that if a genuine tradesman is in an area and he's stopped by the guards saying that something has been reported to them, they'll find, well, the genuine fella won't mind being stopped, because he'll say, this is a good enough area to be working in. There's people here, they're watching out for each other. So that's it. So just don't let them onto your property and don't engage. And particularly keep an eye out for older people or maybe people living alone, that these people put them under pressure. Just because somebody has a van with their name on the side of it, with an advertisement, it doesn't mean that they're genuine.
And
right? So just... Go on ahead, sorry.
There's the thing about that is as well, that it's people who have good faith in others is that usually end up getting caught by this here, and it can be quite frightening as well whenever your workman suddenly has a change where he'll start getting maybe a bit angry with you.
Yeah, and you can be intimidated as well. Like, we've seen incidents where there've been multiple men arriving, maybe 2 jeeps or a lorry or something like that. It can be fairly intimidating if you're living alone and you have 5 or 6 men arriving on your street and you feel that you're under pressure. A lot of all these scams, like the online scams, etc., it's all designed to put people under pressure to part with their money. And, don't feel pressurised into anything. If you think that there's something untoward, I always, every time I'm doing a talk with anybody, the one line that I always ask people to take away from it is, if it seems too good to be true, trust your own instinct. It normally is too good to be true.
And moving on then to the Letterkenny Credit Union, they had a social media post up, and that was also around frauds.
That's right, Donna-Marie. The Letterkenny Credit Union had a post up on their social media pages there recently saying the credit unions have been made aware of emerging fraud threat where fraudsters are contacting credit union members and verbally obtaining details of their debit card as well as personal security information, and then using information to set up Apple Pay or Google Pay or completing fraudulent transactions. You must remember that financial institutions, we do advise this all the time. Banks, credit unions, building societies, post offices, they will not be contacting you looking for your personal details. If there is somebody contacting there and pretend to be from one of those financial institutions, just take a step back and say, hold on a second now, is this genuine? Take down the number and do not ring the number back. Source a number independently and ring, for instance, like at that credit union when they're in Letterkenny, you'll easily find the genuine number for Letterkenny Credit Union. Ring them up, ask them, we had a phone call or a text or whatever it may be from this number, can you tell us if it's genuine or not? The building societies, the banks and the credit unions, they spend a lot of money investing in trying to counter fraud, because the frauds are evolving all the time and it's become more and more sophisticated. So just be careful that not get caught out. But if you do think something again is untoward, or you think there's something that sounds too good to be true, will you do me a favour? Just take a step back, take a breath, and say, right, maybe I'll just make an independent phone call to somebody, not the number that rang you, because if you ring that number back, it'll be all set up, it'll sound like it's genuine, and you could end up getting caught in a scam.
And the scams are, I suppose, leaving the phone. They're leaving the screen. We have a notice in here for the courier card scam. So it's the scammers are coming to your house.
Yeah, scammers are coming to your house. There's another one there recently. We had Irish Water. Now I haven't seen it raise its head in this part of the country, but in other parts of the country, a letter in from Irish Water headed paper. Sorry, we called today to survey your water supplies as part of a leakage reduction program. The survey will help us upgrade your water supply, and a mobile number to contact back and a name on it. If you get something like that through your letterbox, do me a favour, just look up the number for Irish Water, ring them and ask them to verify if that's genuine or not. They'll soon tell you, in fairness. Any company that you ring genuine will tell you. The courier card scam as well, Donna-Marie, is fraudsters pretend to be for your bank and arrange for your bank card to be collected from your home under the guise of it's for security reasons. Again, using things like security reasons, urgent, those kind of words, they're all designed to try and panic you into making a decision that you ordinarily wouldn't make. The scams can be highly convincing. The fraudsters will pretend to be from your bank and they persuade you to hand over your bank card for security reasons. No bank, no building society has ever sent anybody to the door to collect a bank card. That doesn't happen. And again, go back and look up the genuine number for the bank or the building society and ask them, we've had a phone call or a contact from somebody here, and again, they're talking about collecting your bank card. So these are carefully planned and designed to create urgency and fear. Urgency is the whole one, and panic. trying to put people, like I was talking earlier about the bogus callers, they're trying to put people under pressure that they'll make a decision that normally they wouldn't make if they're thinking straight, all right? So how the scam starts is usually begins with a text message claiming that there's a suspicious activity on your bank account. The message can probably look genuine and may even appear to come from your bank. And then you may be asked to reply to the message or click on a link. If you do, the fraudster then can find a way of continuing the scam. To follow this up, you may receive a phone call from someone claiming to be for your bank or security or fraud team. The caller, it'll always, with all of these, they'll all sound professional and they'll reassure you and but they're again creating a sense of urgency and trying to make you under pressure to make a decision that you're going to part with personal details, whether it be your bank card details, your PPS, your date of birth. When you think about the banks and building societies and that, when you open an account with any of these, you provide all those details to them. There's nobody from that building society or bank or credit union or whatever it is, nobody going to be ringing you looking for those details on the phone, right? So they may tell you then that your card's at immediate risk and mention convincing transaction details. Again, immediate risk, putting sense of panic into people. The aim is to stop you from taking time to check out independently, And then they might be told that there'll be somebody coming to collect your card at your house, and the caller may say that a courier or a taxi has been arranged from your bank ticket. Now, I spoke to one of the banks. We did a talk last year, and they verified that this does happen, and it has happened in parts of the country where somebody has arrived at the house to collect somebody's bank card. Again, you know yourself, if your bank card is expired or there's something wrong with it and you're reissued with a new bank card, the bank card comes in an envelope and the PIN or the password comes in a separate envelope, but nobody ever comes to collect the old one. That doesn't happen. So again, during the call, the fraudster may ask you to disclose your full PIN or enter it onto a phone. Again, they entered it onto the phone, they may be scamming your phone from the other side and you're putting in all the security details. You may ask to delete your banking app as part of what is described as a security process. So that's them asking again to get rid of the genuine app off your phone. No bank will ever send someone to your house to collect your card. And why does the scam work? Because it's designed to be extremely convincing. Victims usually genuinely believe that they've been speaking to their own bank, and the messages will look authentic, So when the caller will sound very, very professional, when you're talking to these people, they'll sound like they're from whatever bank or building society it is. But again, it's all about putting people under pressure to make a decision that they normally wouldn't make, So just, yourself, take a step back, as I always say, stop and think about it, assess information, fact check it. And then if you think that you're becoming a victim of one of these, will you please expose and report, as we call it. Just let the guards know, let the bank and the building society know. Because if we don't know about it, we can't do anything about it.
And I suppose this is all very much emotionally fueled, these scams. And I suppose now, just when we're looking at the oil thefts, the price of oil is eye-watering at the minute. And for somebody to find that their oil has been stolen, just at any time would be devastating, particularly in the past 7 days now and going forward.
Yeah, I had a look back through the statistics there for the last month or so. We had a couple, not a lot at the minute, but as you rightly say, with the price of oil increasing at the minute, there is the risk. And again, we've had a couple of reported oil thefts in different parts of the county in the last month. So just have a think about do we need the oil? Have we delivered it? Maybe there's a bit of a panic buying going on at the minute, I don't know, and it's inflating the prices. We don't know how things are going to settle down in the Middle East, but the prices may or may not come back down. But look, if you're getting oil deliveries, would you just maybe have smaller but more frequent oil deliveries? Consider fitting an alarm. You get alarm systems. These are readily available on the market. There's alarm gauges and systems that'll tell you if there's a sudden drop in your oil levels. So just that you'll know that if you're after get a delivery of oil and the oil level takes a sudden drop, there's something not right there. So think about where you position your oil tank. Have it that it can be seen. We always talk about security lighting. Security lighting is a very positive effect and makes property much harder to target for a thief. If a thief tries to get in around the back of a house to steal oil, they're looking to go in there under the cover of darkness, making sure that there's nobody watching them. We often talk about natural surveillance. How well can your oil tank be seen from the road? How well can your oil tank be seen by neighbours? So if there is somebody, even if your house is vacant as well, just tell a neighbour or someone to keep an eye out for it. And particularly there's a lot of holiday homes in Donegal as well. If you're living beside somebody's holiday home and you see somebody down there, or you see lights of a van or something like that, you know, if you don't want to go down and challenge them people yourself, just would you give the guards a ring and say, look, there's something not right down there, because there could be somebody down there trying to take oil. Get a good quality lock, close shackle, padlock for your oil tank. Secure your oil tank, maybe put a wooden fence or trellises or something like that around it. We always talk about defensive planting, you know, planting a plant, bushes or something that'll be prickly or thorny or make it hard to get through. Now, I'm not going to claim to be a gardener or a horticulturist or anything like that to give you recommendations like that, because I know Greg often has around you know what plants we're talking about, but maybe someday Paul from the garden centre's on there and Paul will give you good advice there. But again, you have to think of the fire risk as well. Don't be like fun bushes. Obviously, wouldn't be a good idea up around it either, because they could ignite and take off, you know. But again, a monitored alarm around the place and CCTV. I know it sounds very basic, Donna-Marie, but CCTV around the house is a great deterrent. You know, if somebody's trying to get in around the back of the house, the last thing what they want to do is see a camera pointing at them or see a light coming on, you know. We always say when a crime occurs, three things will be present. Number one, there'll be a person motivated to commit the crime. Number two, an opportunity will present itself. And number three, there's a low risk of them getting caught, or their perceived low risk. So they think they're sleeping around the back of a house, the house is in darkness, they get around there, under there, and nobody's watching them. That's what they want. So again, I'd ask you just to keep an eye out, particularly if there's a lot of holiday homes around the county. If you think that there's somebody's house there, that maybe, and you'll know yourself, you'll see the oil delivery lorries out there. I was speaking to a man in Letterkenny last week, and you know, the deliveries or the requests for delivery of oil has gone through the roof in the last week.
It has.
Because people are, you know, I know, listen, don't get me wrong, I've ordered oil myself in the last week, you know, so, but just it's all about being vigilant and keep an eye out. But if you do think there's something not right, or there's something untoward, would you please let us know, because otherwise we won't know about these things happening.
And we have a similar appeal in there just for home burglaries as well. It's back to basics. The you know, I suppose that there's measures that are called tried and true for a reason.
There, and I know that the Garda statistics were released there very recently, and burglaries and stuff like that are down nationally last year. But there has been a few burglaries across the county there in the last month or so, you know, in both in the north and south of the county. So again, burglars, what are they looking for? They're looking for an easy target, somewhere there's no lights, no alarm, maybe the house is unoccupied, unsecured doors or windows. Just if you're going away on holidays or something like that, you know, would you just make sure your house is secured? Maybe have an alarm set, have lights coming on if somebody's coming onto the street, have somebody checking in the house. As I said, the burglar, he's motivated to commit the crime, and he thinks there's an opportunity there. He's going to try and get away with it, you know, and try and get in there around your house. So look, if you pay enough money to have a house, you pay enough money to have property within that house. So try and secure it. A big one there too on your social media accounts and stuff like that is, I know there's a tendency people are going away on holidays and they like bragging to the neighbours or family. Here we are at Dublin Airport, we're going here, there, wherever. But what you're actually doing there too is you're advertising to burglars who may be monitoring social media sites. Here's an empty house. There's actually, it's funny when we talk about social media and the catchment of it. There's 5.2 million mobile phone connections in the Republic of Ireland, and 80% of those connections are linked to social media accounts. So 4.16 million social media accounts in this country. So you can see that, you know, how much information, how much or how vulnerable those accounts are. So again, the basics again, don't be keeping cash or jewellery at home. If you have to keep something precious at home, maybe think of investing in a safe. Maybe get a good safe, but don't leave the safe lying loose. Get it bolted to a concrete wall. Keep your safe codes, etc. Safe. You know, a lot of burglaries do happen then between 5 and 10 in the evening, and it's amazing how many houses are burgled at times when the front door is left unlocked, and maybe the way the older houses were designed, it's different now. Would you have as we always talk about Dermot Bannon with the glass box, and you can see Ben Bulbin out one window and the Barnes Cap out the other. But the kitchens are at the back of the houses. People are spending a lot of time at the back, front door lying open, and houses can get burgled when they're there. We had a number of burglaries in the east of the county. It's a couple of years ago now, happening on Saturday evenings between 6 and half 8 in the evening. when even mass was on, people were out of the houses. So keep your doors secure and your windows. If you need to upgrade your locks, go and talk to a good locksmith and look at the locks on your doors and make sure that they're secure. Again, don't be keeping cash at home. Use the banks, use the building society, use the credit union, use the post office. Light your home up. You can use timer switches to light that up if you're away. Dusk till dawn, sensor lighting it around the house. Again, the storage of keys, and back to basics, and it sounds silly, but the one place I often when I'm doing talks like this, I often ask, does anybody keep the key under the flower pot at the front door? And you always get a giggle or a laugh from the group. So again, restricting access around the back of your house. If somebody can around the side of your house, if you have a gate on, keep the gate closed. And again, if it's an open plan or whatever around the side of your house, have some security lighting around there so they step around the house that they're going to be seen. And just record details of your valuables as well. And especially if you're into the farming or if you're large machinery and that, we do hold property marking events around the county. Maybe think about getting your property marking done. And again, back to the basics again, the alarm, the CCTV. The doorbell cameras are brilliant now at this stage too, Donna-Marie, and that a lot of that footage can go streamed straight to your mobile phone, so you know exactly, no matter where you are, if there's somebody at your house. And we'd always recommend, if you are getting anybody in to fit alarm, CCTV, lighting that, would you use what they call a PSA registered contract, which is the Private Security Authority of Ireland, and they have a website there and they have a list of all the contractors, and there's a number of them who should be very, very familiar with around County Donegal, and those companies, you'll find them on there. Again, and back to the bogus trades thing, doubling up on that. If somebody's coming offering you an alarm or a CCTV at a knockdown price, and just have another think about it again. If it sounds too good to be true, maybe it is too good to be true.
It possibly is. Sergeant Fergus McGrory, Divisional Crime Prevention Officer with Letterkenny Garda Station, thank you so much for your time on that. And as well, if people and businesses in particular want to contact you, they can call up the Letterkenny Garda Station.
They can, and just you can give out, I have no issue there, give out the dg.crimeprevention@garda.ie if there's a group there, because I do a lot of talks around the county there. I know I have a number of talks even coming up this week again. So if you send me an email into dg.crimeprevention@garda.ie or just ring Letterkenny Garda Station and leave a message and I'll come back to you.
Sergeant, thank you very much for that. That is Sergeant Fergus McGrory, Divisional Crime Prevention Officer at Letterkenny Garda Station. We're going to take the bingo numbers here now and then we'll carry on. We have some more in-studio guests.
It's time for Vision Ireland Bingo on Highland Radio.
It's Monday the 9th of March. You're playing on the green sheet for the daily prize of €600. The reference number is S11. It's game number 11. The numbers are 1, 78, 73, 62, 63, 2, 52, 9, 46, and finally 58. Phone your claim to 910-4833 before midnight, leaving your name, contact number and the name of the shop where you purchased your book, and we'll call you back the next working day. Get all your Vision Ireland bingo information at highlandradio.com. It's here, the new Opel Frontera. Join Manor Motors for the Frontera test drive event and discover the wow, the new family fun SUV from Opel. With big comfort, huge space and room for 7. Choose hybrid or electric and make every drive a new adventure. Get behind the wheel at Manor Motors, your Opel dealer. Now with 5 years unlimited warranty. The new Opel Frontera. Fun has found its family.
Painting season is here, and there's only one place to start. That's Foy's in Ballybuffet, Letterkenny, and now Enniskillen, the largest stockist of all the biggest paint brands in the Northwest. From exterior paint built for Irish weather to interior colours that transform your home, Foy's have it all. And this month, enjoy free paint colour consultations in each store. Get inspired, get expert advice, and get painting at Foy's, where great colours begin.
Brian McCormick Sports for on and off pitch teamwear from Adidas, Joma and O'Neill's, with new ranges out now. For school, workplace or a full squad, get a custom design with our own BMC teamwear range. Get a quote online or call 074 9127833. Brian McCormick Sports.
The Greg Hughes Show with Letterkenny Credit Union, powering your plans with fast digital loans. Apply online or through our app in minutes and get funds straight into your current account. Easy, quick and convenient. And our digital offering perfectly complements the friendly face-to-face service you know and trust.
On air, online, and on your smart speaker. The Greg Hughes Show on Highland Radio.
And I am joined in studio now by two very, very special guests. I have Tommy Conway, owner of Full Tilt Studios, and his son, Callum. Good morning, how are we?
Good.
Good stuff, good stuff. Let me get this now, make sure everyone can see your lovely faces there. Now, Callum, you're in to me today because you've written a song. Yes. Do you want to tell me what it's about? Mario. Very good, very good. Now, is this the first song that you've written?
Yeah.
It is, and it's Gaeilge.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Good. And we'll come to Daddy here now, Tommy. Callum's 8 years old. He's following in your footsteps, it seems.
It was just a wee project we kind of decided to do at home ourselves, just for a bit of fun, I think, initially. And then Callum, I asked him, would you like to write a song? And he says, aye, why not? And I asked him, what would you like to write about? And he says, I'd like to write about Mario. And he says, oh, maybe we'll write it in Irish. So that's kind of where it all started, really. And then, we kind of finished it out, and sort of the finished product turned out pretty well. Both happy with it, weren't we, buddy?
Yeah.
All transparent. Now you have a music video and everything, Callum.
Yeah.
Amazing. Now, it's about Mario and Bowser, so it is. And I have to ask, do you like playing Super Mario?
Yeah.
Do you play Mario Party?
I play it at my cousin's house.
Do you? Who's your go-to? Who do you pick whenever you're playing?
Mario.
Very good. I'm more of a Toadette girl myself, so I am. We're going to have a wee snippet here of the song, and then we'll let's see if we get it going.
Mario, Bowser, Rico, Gasta, Mario, Bowser, agree.
And that's a wee snippet of it there. Now we'll be able to get it listened to it full. We'll get it shared on our social media. It's very rappy. Do you like that kind of music? Would you listen to that kind of music?
Yeah.
Very good. Now, we said it's in Irish. Now you go to Gaeilge School.
Yeah.
As Gaeilge, Gaeilge. So you're sorry. We also have Marie in the team that was at Gaeilge School, Doherty, and Gaeilge at Gaeilge School. So they had helped out, had they, Tommy?
They had helped out a bit as well. I suppose some of the moon chores there helped with the wee idea for it to say, if we're doing a wee song, why don't you do it in Irish? And then I suppose we have to thank Maya too, because she actually helped with some of the spellings for the music video too, to make sure that we had it all right.
Has to be correct. It sure does. And and we'll Gaeilge it.
Ta.
My who, there's no much Gaeilge ugum, to be totally honest with you. But it's because I listened to the whole song earlier on, and it's such a wee bop. It's, do you know do you remember the song that was out? This is terrible now, I've forgotten it. It was out for Seachtain to Gaeilge a few years ago. It was the kids down in...
It was kids down Cork, wasn't it? That's right.
It really reminded me of that there.
As we said, it was just something a wee bit fun. And Callum says too, might help some other kids maybe pick up wee bits of Irish too, maybe as well. So I suppose whenever we had finished, I knew Seachtain to Gaeilge was coming up, and I thought, what, should we just put out in Seachtain to Gaeilge again?
Exactly, why not? And have you any other songs that you think you'd like to write now coming down the line?
Yeah.
What are we thinking? What kind of...
Well, my friend said the right one about Luigi.
Well, that's it. You can't have one without the other.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. And would you do it maybe about his haunted mansion, or what do you think?
Don't know yet.
No, you have to do that. You can't have pressure on these things. Have to let the creative juices flow. Well, Callum, well done. We'll get the whole thing shared on our social media, because the music video and all. How many people were involved then in total?
Well, I suppose you count a couple of the teachers, and then myself and Callum as well too, for their input. So even some of the mentors gave us a couple of ideas for other wee songs as well too. So I suppose it's just something creative that we can have a wee bond and a bit of crack. Do you know what I mean? So
it's nice as well, having something that you can do together.
Exactly.
So good stuff, Cal. I might let you go now after that. Then I'm going to get we'll get the whole song shared, so we will. And thank you so much for coming in. And now, see, whenever you make it and you're really famous and you get lifted by all the music producers in like LA, you remember that you came here. And I don't want to say that I had you first, but you were on with Colin Fairter, were you, around Christmas time?
Yeah.
Well, we have a star in the making already. That's Callum Conway and his daddy, Tommy Conway, owner of Full Tilt Studios. And that is what's the name of the song?
Mario Grammer.
Mario Grammer.
Funny Mario.
Funny Mario. Thank you very much for that there. We'll take a wee ad break here now.
The Greg Hughes Show with Letterkenny Credit Union. New to borrowing or haven't borrowed in a while? Our welcome loan is here for you. Borrow up to €50,000 at just 5.95% APR with no hidden fees ever. Apply online or in branch today at letterkennycu.ie.
2026 may be well underway, but don't forget about the old tax year. Log on to Revenue's My Account to check your end-of-year position and claim any tax credits you are entitled to. If you're due a refund, you'll get it within days. If you owe us money, we'll work with you on a payment option. My Account. It's quick, it's easy, and it's free.
See our new range of comfortable storage beds now on display at Restex Beds Mountaintop Letterkenny. Combine luxury and comfort with clever hidden storage and free delivery and assembly on all our products. Restex Beds. Leave the rest to us.
Michael Murphy Sports has everything you need to help you reach your fitness goals. From training gear to resistance bands, skipping ropes, weights and foam rollers, we have all the essentials to see you through every step of your fitness journey. Shop our range of gym gear, equipment and accessories at michaelmurphysports.ie.
Here, would you look at Eco Enda? He's only after going and getting himself one of the new Skoda EVs.
First he went vegan, then he got solar panels, now this.
I'm sure he'd buy anything as long as he can get a grant for it.
Must be from that county beside Monaghan.
The new fully electric Skoda range. The kind of cars that get the neighbours talking. But only if you're quick. Check availability at skoda.ie. Skoda, let's explore.
Skoda. Your local Skoda dealer is DMG Motors, Clar Road, Donegal Town. Telephone 074 9721396.
Drivers know what trouble sounds like.
No. Okay. Forward. Oh no. Oh please no. Oh no.
That's why they get cover from Ireland's soundest car insurance provider, SuperValue Insurance.
Thanks for calling us, Finn. And don't beat yourself up about it. Sure, I'm driving 10 years and parallel parking still baffles me.
Get a quote from SuperValue Car Insurance to get 10% off online. And we'll even throw in €40 in vouchers. T's and C's apply. Vouchers include two €20 or €40 spent. This car insurance is underwritten by AXA Insurance DAC. SuperValue Financial Services DAC trading as SuperValue Insurance is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland.
Now we're back in here. It's just going 25 to 11 and I have Claire McNicholin, owners of Claire's Clothing. Claire, how are you keeping?
I'm great. I'm great. Not a bother.
Now we're in today to talk about that you're closing down your shop. But just before that we get to that, I was telling you before the ad break that you're part of my Highland Radio origin story. So I started working here about 4 years ago, and on my first week I was sent out to do a produce for an outside broadcast with John Breslin, and it was to your shop that we went to.
Oh God, I was trying to remember when exactly that was.
It was around April time of 2022.
Yeah,
so it was.
Van was outside the shop.
That was it. That was my first week here. So it was. How things come round now. A lot's happened for you and your store since then. So after 26 years of business, you're deciding it's time to close the doors.
Yeah, I've made the decision. It's kind of very much mixed emotions at this stage of the game. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I've been working in retail since I was 17. I started in Austin's in Derry. I will miss it. There's no two ways about it. But it's time to move on to a different journey or do something different. Just do something different.
I suppose what led you now to making that choice?
It's kind of been pushed by a couple of things. It is getting harder to run a business in this current climate. And I don't mean no otherwise, but it is getting harder. Costs are just escalating, between rents, rates, water rates, electricity. Everything is just escalating.
It's becoming very hard, and we hear so often that it's very hard to start a business in this type of economy, but to keep one running for so long, sometimes people will think of the likes of your shop and like, oh, it's been there for 20 years. It's doing grand,
Yeah. But you see, the thing about shopping is there's so much shopping online now, and that changes everything. Now, we do have a website, claireclothing.com.ie, We do have a website. We don't have an awful lot of traffic on it, but I'm not a big fan of online shopping, to be honest. I think shopping, our towns need their main streets. They need a selection of different shops. People come to the town, you need somewhere to walk into and walk out of, browse, buy and shop. And shopping should be a bit of fun, a bit of crack, an interaction with interacting with other people. And that's the bit of it I will miss, the social aspect of it as well. But you get such a kick out of somebody buying something that they wouldn't necessarily have come in for, but going out the door wearing something that's a wee bit outside of their box, and they've had a bit of fun.
That experience of shopping isn't what it used to be. I was a bridesmaid there for my sister during the summer, and trying to get bridesmaid dresses. We were ordering, trying them on, having to send them back, but it was very hard to find somewhere that we could go in to even see what kind of style. Now, she had 3 different bridesmaids.
Aye.
Like, we're all different heights,
Aye.
all different types of bodies.
Aye.
So I'd say, is that translating as well into, I suppose, your everyday clothes?
Yes. You mean as in,
people they'll,
you get all different shapes and sizes and age groups?
as in, well, that too, but also, like we had to get all these different sizes and styles, order them all, and we knew that whenever we were ordering them all that we had to send most of them back, because we're not going to be wearing 7 different dresses on the day, you know what I mean?
No, that's why you can't beat the bricks and mortar and going in and trying them on all together, everybody into the one shop, trying on the clothes, trying on the dresses, trying on the different shapes. It saves a lot of time at the end of the day rather than this. I'm not a big fan of shopping online. I never have been.
And but have you found that yourself? Will you have an order where it's maybe the same top in a few different sizes that's going out, and you're setting it out knowing that you're going to have to wait for them to come back, and that's, I suppose, stock that's sort of held for use until you won't be able to sell them again until they come back?
Oh, when you have an online presence, as most of the bigger stores do, you have to have an awful lot more stock, because you have to have a shop stock and then you have to have an online stock. So you're actually in ways of 2 sets of different stocks. And as I say, we have a very small presence online. So therefore, when we take something out of stock, we've had very few returns actually from what online shopping we've done off the web. We've had actually no returns. We find people, because we sell clothes that are quality, wash and wear, and sustainable, you don't get those sort of returns. People are not buying 3-4 sizes out of my business to take home to try on, because the price, our clothes reflected in the price as well, because the quality is there. So you pull out something, you buy something in my shop, you're going to be able to pull it out 5 or 6, 7 years time. It'll still be wearable. Clothes, when you buy something that suits you, it never dates. So you're not changing your clothes to the same extent. It's not a disposable fashion. It's building a capsule wardrobe that you can reach this week, or maybe reach in 6 weeks' time, or next autumn, winter, and pull it out and you can wear it.
Have you seen any of the styles that you have in your shop sort of replicated on the likes of Shein or Temu, or that type of?
All I can say to you is I have never been on their sites.
That's a very, not many people can say that, and that's a very, I suppose, proud thing you can say for yourself. You talked there about the cost of doing business. I'd say even maybe in the last 2 or 3 years, what's been the difference in your overheads?
Rent and rates and electricity.
How much, roughly, if you don't mind, let's say your electricity, like how much would that have gone up?
Well, at one stage it doubled. There was one Christmas, my electricity bill was €1,000 for a month.
Oh my goodness, €1,000.
€1,000 for 1 month, and that was for heating, because it's all electric heating. And to sustain that on top of rent and rates, that's quite a high figure. So it has come down, but with the current state of the world at the moment, I would imagine electricity will go back up again.
It's on it. I think it will be on course to go up again. But you moved stores recently as well.
I did. I moved to beside Brian McCormick Sports up on the main street, which it's a smaller place. It's easier to handle. Lisa and I are both thoroughly enjoying it. It's a different dynamic, actually.
And is it yourself and Lisa in the shop, or how many other
Just
staff?
the two of
Just the two of us.
Just the two of us, and she does all the social media.
And how are
And
you
she's
going
great
to
at it.
how are you going to find then? Are you is with Lisa related? Like, would you see her outside of work? Like, you're going to miss her.
Oh, terribly! She's great fun and great crack, and we have a laugh.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a whole social aspect of this I will miss.
And do you have your wee regulars as well that comes in, and you see them down the street, and you're looking forward to them coming up and like hearing what's the crack today?
Yeah. You do a lot of therapy too in there, not just retail therapy.
Hairdressers and I think clothes shops as well. Your places where you go to.
Yeah.
You do form such a relationship with your people there.
Don't you just?
Oh, you do, surely.
Yeah.
There's some comments in here saying people need to remember that shopping online does not create jobs for our children. There needs to be a combination of both.
Totally agree there.
I suppose for the likes of yourself, whenever they were shopping online, at least they were still shopping local. But an awful lot of shopping online now is totally leaving Ireland. Like, it's not.
It's not even here. They're not supporting our own economy. It's all money that's going out. The other thing is, when it comes for kids looking for YT placements and job experiences, you need the local shops to give them placements. And I've had some lovely students over the years from the convent, fabulous students over the years from the convent, and a few from Deal and Rafo as well. And if you have we need shops. Our town needs us all. We need our main street. We need shops.
And that's just echoed here by another commenter saying the town needs to do more to bring footfall to the streets. There is no footfall anymore.
Footfall on the main street is seriously fallen. Gone down quite considerably over the last 2 or 3 years. COVID changed a lot of the dynamics too.
Well, actually, speaking on that, then how did it change for you in your store?
Well, I didn't do the online presence with COVID, but it changed the social aspect too. It changed how people dress. A lot of people bought elasticated trousers during COVID, and then they just grew into them.
Yeah, they grow with you. That's the thing about it. You see,
I'm a big fan of a button and a zip, so then you can keep control of what you're at. But because the whole social thing changed, people stopped going out and socialising the way they did. That changed shopping too.
There's somebody made a good point in here, and they're saying, what will happen now if you need a last minute outfit? I got a lovely dress for the Chamber Awards in Letterkenny. That shop now no longer exists, and that's the thing. What do you do whenever you're in a pinch?
That's why you need to support your local businesses.
And have you found that support for your business wasn't what it used to be?
Yeah.
And more in recent years?
Yeah. Because the footfall on the main street has fallen.
And that's, you can do the amount of, I suppose, advertising you want, but whenever it does come to it, if people aren't on the streets, it's going to make life very difficult, for you to continue trading.
And we have beautiful shops on the street. We've lovely independent retailers on the streets. You've Watson's, you've County Seat, you've Brian McCormick's, you've Jared McCormick's, Mickey's Pharmacy, you have Morn Antiques, you have the card shop, you have Sanji, you have we have plenty to offer on the main street.
It's there. People need to take to it. A sad day for Letterkenny, another clothing shop going. I want to wish Claire all the very best, and I personally love going into a shop and getting expert advice on what to wear. That's the thing as well. You'll know how to dress people.
Thank you.
First thing I noticed whenever you came in today was that you had your lipstick and your glasses matching. I was like, beautiful, so lovely. But people are going to miss out on that as well.
Yeah, because and I will miss being able to help people with that too.
Claire, I suppose out of you've 26 years now that you have been doing business in Letterkenny, what has been the highlights for you? Have you any? Is there any day that sticks out in your mind now that's like, you know what, that at the time I can laugh about it now, but it's, do you know what I mean? Like, have you any memories you're like, that will stay with me until the day that I go?
Twice I've literally sold the coat off my back.
What?
This woman came in one day. It was a range I was doing when I was in Academy Court, and it was really fabulous stuff. And there was only... She'd been in the week before and she'd seen the coat, and the coat had been hanging there, and I thought, you know what, I really like that coat, I'm going to take that coat. So she came in looking for the coat, and that was literally the same morning, and I said, that coat's gone, I'm sorry, that coat's gone. And she said, oh, I came back for it. And I said, I literally took it myself this morning, but you know what, you can have it. So now I'm literally selling the coat off my back.
Oh my god! And you know what? We hear so much of that from from businesses like yourself. My local one to me would be Michael Honey's, but you hear whenever you're in, you hear things like that. So you do all the time. And it happened twice. Was it a similar instance the second time around?
Another lady with a raincoat about 5 years ago, and she keeps every night. Do you remember the day I bought your coat?
And that's going to be that is the wee things that you miss. But your presence will be very much missed on the street. You know, as you say yourself, Watson's, Brian McCormick's. I suppose you all know each other as well, just from working beside each other.
Yeah, well, sure, we're all part of the Chamber and Shop LK.
What's that? Well, there's a question in here. I wonder, will this be something you might be able to speak on? But it's, do men shop have the same issues? It's all women who are shopping online. Have men changed their habits? Have you heard anything of that in the Chamber?
Men shop differently from women. 9 times out of 10, they don't really try clothes on. They just go, have you got that in my size? And I'll take that. Men are quick shoppers.
Yeah.
Women aren't.
And I'd say there'd be a big percentage of clothes that's bought for men would be the likes of their wives going in to get it.
Yeah. And yes, and they do have an online presence as well. So the menswear shops in this town are doing very well because they're great shops and they've great selection. And you've evolved too down in the retail park as well.
Well, Claire, after 26 years, it's. I suppose you were thinking that you were going to want to wind down at some stage, maybe just not as early as this. And here you are now. I suppose, is there anything that we've loads of messages and people are wishing you well, saying that they're going to miss the presence there? Is there anything you just want to say now to your wee regulars who'll be listening?
Well, I've been slowly but surely going through my phone and texting or leaving voice messages for people, because some people you just towards the answer you back, you just get so upset and emotional.
Yeah.
But it's been a wonderful 26 years, I have to say. It's been there's been ups and downs, there's been crashes. There was 2009, there was high inflation at some stages. I was shredding papers the other day and looking at what electricity bills and phone bills were from I started in 2000. What I will miss is the camaraderie and the friendships and the people that I've met and the crack that we've had.
And what's next?
And my customers, I want to thank each and every one of those people that came through my door all over the years. It's just been, I really, really am very appreciative of your kindness, your friendship, your custom. Just, it's going to be, I've been so lucky from that point with my customers.
And I suppose, what's next now? Do you know yet? Are you going to take a wee break?
I'm going to buy a polytunnel for the garden.
Oh, a change. That is a change. You'll need to get your raincoat back off your one.
Yep.
Well, Claire, look, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on. Thank you so much for coming in. And best of luck now with your retirement, and make the absolute most of it and enjoy it.
Thank you, Donna-Marie. Thank you. And thank you to everybody. And Highland Radio.
Not at all.
Thank
Not
you.
at all. Thank you.
The Greg Hughes Show is brought to you by Letterkenny Credit Union. Big plans, big dreams. Home improvement loans. Borrow up to €80,000. Visit letterkennycu.ie today.
Looking for the perfect girls' weekend? Join Fela Creenaman at Jackson's Hotel Ballybuffet March 28th to 29th. Saturday features expert talks on menopause, endometriosis, nutrition and well-being, followed by Sunday's Femme and Fabulous, bubbly afternoon tea, fashion shows, beauty and more. Full details on Facebook, Basic Twin Towns or Rain Aesthetics.
Across the supermarket aisle, your eyes meet, and you just know this is the real deal. Food that makes you go, drinks that make you feel, ooh. That's the power of Love Irish food brands. Local brands, made with devotion, enjoyed with passion.
You feel the power
of Love Irish food.
You feel the power of love.
Look for Love Irish food on pack.
This Easter, explore more at National Trust with adventure aplenty for all. Browse local crafts and cuisine at Castle Ward Spring Market. Solve the riddle at Llewellyn Garden with a colourful egg hunt through stunning grounds. Enjoy a nature-inspired trail at Mount Stewart and see how many giant eggs you can find. Follow the river and the spring trail to an extra special chocolate surprise at the Artery. Or hop aboard the Earl's Grand Tour at Florence Court for an Easter trail like no other. Excited? Search National Trust NI.
Mom,
Can Sophie come with us to the playground?
Yes.
Can Siobhan?
Yeah.
Can Priya and Eve?
Yeah.
And Jack?
Ooh, who's Jack?
Mum!
From €27,790, the new Citroën C3 Aircross converts from 5 seats to 7. Free text BEAR to 50400 to take a test drive and get a free teddy bear. Available in full electric. 7 seats available in petrol and hybrid options only. See citroen.ie. Price excludes dealer delivery and related charges.
Test drive the Citroën C3 Aircross at Highland Motors, Mountaintop, Letterkenny.
Treat Mum this Mother and Sunday at Century Complex. Join us on Sunday the 15th of March for a special afternoon tea experience or relax together over our delicious Sunday lunch at Backstage Bar and Grill. Great food, family time and no washing up. Book now on 074 91 21976 or visit centurycinemas.ie.
Highland Radio weather updates with McElhinney's. Find the perfect outfit for any event this season with our extensive collection of occasion wear for women and suiting for men. Explore more in-store or shop online at mcelhinneys.com.
Now, I promised you the weather forecast. I do have one for you now. Cloudy for most of this morning, largely dry, just some patchy rain and drizzle. The sunny spells will gradually follow in from the west through the afternoon, and then that cloud will build again during the evening. Highest temperatures of 9 to 10 degrees in light, occasionally moderate southwesterly or variable breezes. So it seems like spring is finally began to sprung, thank the Lord. I want to just mention here that the N15 Bundoran to Sligo Road is closed at Bunduff following a road traffic collision. Diversions are on the Bundoran and the Sligo side, so there is written directions there for HGVs and cars. So just take care if you're travelling down the south of the county this morning. We have some questions that have went into the HSE and we got some answers back on it. One is in relation to the dermatology service at Letterkenny University Hospital. Councillor Declan Meehan was on with Greg in relation to this last week. So it was in relation to the decision to block the appointment of a consultant dermatologist at Letterkenny University Hospital is leaving patients facing journeys of up to 2.5 hours for treatment. A dedicated dermatology consultant was formally recommended for Letterkenny University Hospital following a national review of the dermatology services. The funding for the post was approved, but the clinical lead has refused to allocate this. So we did get word back, and that is that the model, this is now the HSE's words, the model for the dermatology care in the Northwest has always been a service based from Sligo University Hospital, and this remains the case. There's currently one consultant dermatologist in the Northwest. There's 2 permanent consultant posts that funding has been approved for and recruitment has been actively ongoing. There's currently no suitable applicants for these posts, however we continue to make every effort to fill the positions. Dermatology is a challenging speciality nationally, and it's one of the 3 priority high volume specialties in the waiting list action plan. In order to address the waiting list for dermatology patients, HSE West and Northwest is utilising all available outsourcing capacity via HSE funded streams. LUH, in conjunction with Access to Care, have outsourced a number of patients, having obtained from the National Treatment Purchase Fund to support additional in-house services for the Northwest. A review of dermatology services in the Northwest region is being carried out by the Medicine Network of Care. That doesn't really, I suppose, look at the fact that the funding all was there, but there was the appointment for a consultant dermatologist was blocked, and we had Declan on last week, and we had ran it in news as well to say that, you know, people are now left having to travel on down to Sligo, which seems to be the case so often. And whenever it comes to healthcare in Donegal, it just seems to be that you can consistently draw the short straw whenever it comes to you know, having, if you have an appointment, you know, you have to take time off work, you have to travel down. It's the same everywhere, even, you know, like, and I mean in all workplaces, you know, you're trying to sort that to get the time off. We just want to have a little touch on as well as on the oil prices. So, hi Greg, I bought 1,000 litres of oil on Monday for €980. Today's price is €1,343. That's €360 more. How can this be justified? Hi, regards. That's in from Joe. And I suppose that is just what we're coming in against at the minute, you know. Hopefully government can step in, you know, I feel they have the means to do so, so hopefully they'll decide to do that sooner rather than later. Now, I'm just seeing the time has caught up with us. Thank you all so much for listening and for your kind comments as I filled in for Greg today, and a massive thank you to Caroline Orr and Shannon Wilkin, who produced and researched the show. Couldn't have done it without them. Greg's back in tomorrow, so we'll see you then.